Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is July 10th, 2025, and Barcelona have entered the race for a player that Sevilla were one step away from signing. Also, change of plans at Barcelona as they could consider signing a fullback. And finally, another club is interested in Marc Casado. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. We'll begin this video with the news that Barcelona have entered the race for a player who is one step away from signing with Sevilla, and that player is no other than Alex Costa. Now, if you haven't heard of Alex Costa, he's a 22-year-old center forward who played last season with SD Ponferradina in 3rd Division. He impressed during that season, scoring 8 goals and 3 assists, and as such, he drew the attention of Sevilla, who negotiated with the player. He agreed to join them. He even underwent medical exams, and the only thing pending was the signing of the paperwork, so Alex Costa can join Sevilla Atletico, which is the reserve team of Sevilla, kind of like Barca Athletic. And in the last moment, Barcelona picked up the phone, called up SD Ponferradina, and said, hey, we're also interested in signing Alex Costa because they want to reinforce the Barca Athletic. Now, it's reported that after this call was made, Alex Costa put everything on hold to consider Barcelona's meeting. But right now, some reports are stating that his inner circle, Alex Costa's inner circle, are recommending him that he, continue committed to Sevilla like he had already done. He had already given his word. So it's now looking more like he is joining Sevilla. But of course, no final decision has been made. If he does end up deciding to join Barcelona, of course, I'll be here to tell you all about it. Now, on to the next bit of news, because, ladies and gentlemen, there's currently a change of plans, or possible change of plans, because Barcelona could possibly try to sign a fullback, something that Barcelona had not planned for this summer transfer market. Now, Barcelona's number one priority for this summer was Joan Garcia. Check. Barcelona already signed him. The second priority was Nico Williams. That did not happen. So now it has switched from Nico Williams to Luis Diaz, Deco's favorite option to reinforce the left wing. Deco wants to continue trying to sign the Colombian, but of course, as I've said a million times, this option is highly, highly improbable, given that Liverpool want between 80 to 85 million euros, something that not only Barcelona are not willing to pay, but something that Barcelona could not even afford, even if they wanted to pay. So, of course, the question is, if Luis Diaz cannot come, who will it be? Well, it's reported that if neither Nico Williams, which we already know he can't come, and Luis Diaz cannot come, then Barcelona are just not going to go crazy and just sign whomever just for the sake of signing. Because even though there are options, for example, Rafael Leao, Laporta's favorite option, he doesn't generate consensus within the club. There is Lukeman, other people within a club like him, but same as Leao, does not generate consensus. And then there is, of course, the option of Marcus Rashford, who now is gaining traction within the club, but nonetheless, there's still no consensus. So there's no consensus within the club on who should be the left winger if Luis Diaz does not come, and highly likely will not come. But out of the three, Leao, Lukeman, and Rashford is kind of in pole position. But again, none of those three options generate consensus. And if the club cannot agree on any of these options, that it's reported that Barcelona could end up signing a fullback. Now, the fullback was not a priority, but Hansi Flick has suggested that, hey, if we can't sign the left winger, then maybe we should bring a fullback, someone who can play on both sides, and that way can reinforce both the left back and the right back. Now, this is not final yet. Again, Deco is going to continue trying to sign Luis Diaz. If that doesn't work, Barcelona will have a discussion on whether to sign another left winger. And if not, they could sign a fullback. Or they're saying they could still sign Rashford on loan and still try to get a fullback, because after all, Rashford would be a loan, so there would be no transfer fee. So, of course, this is still a developing situation. Barcelona are still considering all the cards on the table. And of course, I will be here to tell you what the final decision will be. Now, speaking of Lukeman, it's reported that Atalanta have officially set a price for him, and they want around 50 million euros for the attacker, the Atalanta attacker. Again, someone who Barcelona, some people in Barcelona do like, but does not generate total consensus across the board. And it's reported that both Tottenham and Real Madrid are now eyeing him. We'll see where he will end up, and we'll see whether Barcelona end up agreeing on him or not. Now, of course, I do want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions. I know a lot of you like Lukeman, but my question to you is, if you were Deco, would you sign Lukeman for 50 million euros? Yes? No? Why not? Why? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, on to the next bit of news, because another club has joined the race for Marc Casado, who's currently attracting attention from all around the world, all around Europe, all around the universe, because everybody and their mama want Casado. And well, now the latest club who are interested in Casado is Bayer Leverkusen, who reportedly are willing to offer upwards of 30 million euros for the Barcelona midfielder, because after all, they are looking to rebuild their squad with so many exits after the departure of Xabi Alonso. Plus, Bayer Leverkusen right now, they have a lot of cash because, of course, they did sell Florian Wirtz, so they have plenty of cash on hand. And again, they're willing to offer 30 million euros for Marc Casado, which, as I've said before when I discussed previous offers, A, Marc Casado not interested in leaving, and B, Barcelona not interested in selling, especially for 30 million euros. Because, as I've said before, Casado not for sale, but if Barcelona receive an offer 50 million or more, they would consider it. That doesn't mean they would pull the trigger. They would consider it. But anything below 50 million euros, they're not even going to bother. Plus, again, Marc Casado not looking to leave. Now, we'll end today's video with statements from our most recently renewed goalkeeper, Wojciech Szczesny, who during an interview was asked, hey, what do you think about this whole Lamine Yamal situation? Something I've talked about in this channel, because as we've seen, Lamine Yamal has been seen partying and hanging out with Neymar and all these, hanging out with this 30-some-year-old influencer, and there's the whole thing with the porn star. So he's asked, what do you think about this whole situation? And this is what the Barcelona goalkeeper had to say. You know what I think? Everyone has their own path. And to this day, I don't see any warning signs. Okay? I don't see any warning signs. I think his attitude towards football, towards life, is what makes him the player he is. And it's if you can't really change someone's personality. They say Neymar could have achieved much more in football if he had a different mentality. But if he had approached football and life differently, he wouldn't have been Neymar who puts on his show. I think with personalities like that, you shouldn't hold them back too much. You have to let them enjoy football, because that joy isn't just contagious for their teammates, but it inspires millions of people around the world. I think that's more the role of Lamine's entourage than Lamine himself. He's only 17. He has the right, maybe even the obligation, to make some youthful mistakes. Let's hope that if he makes them, they don't have serious consequences. But his environment will certainly be important to him. So there you have it, folks. Straight out of the mouth of Wojciech Szczesny, someone who has shared the locker room with Lamine Yamal, saying that he doesn't see any signs to worry about. And of course, I hope that he is 100% true. And then, of course, adding that people who enjoy life should be let enjoy life, because that's also transmits on the field, which I do agree. And I think we all saw how joyful, for example, Ronaldinho was on the field. Of course, the only concern is when that joy also starts interfering with the football on the field. And finally, the text saying, his entourage, Lamine Yamal's entourage, will be very important to this, his family, his friends, because after all, he is 17 years old. We all wanted to party on yachts with models when we were 17 or 18, but of course, we didn't have the money to do it. He does. So, you can't blame him for wanting to do those things, but hopefully he will be guided by family and friends to be like, hey, that's fine, you have fun, but you also need to focus on your career, because you're destined to be the greatest in the world, and that cannot happen if you start getting distracted with other things. All right, that is all for this video. I did upload another video a few moments ago. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.